Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist John Dissauer. Thanks for checking out my blog, New at Dissauer. It is about 12:50 on Wednesday afternoon, and let's get straight to the weather. A lot to talk about this afternoon. Winter weather advisories are in effect for the entire KFVS viewing area. That is for late tonight through tomorrow morning. Radar imagery over the last 3 hours. You'll see an initial wave trying to slide through here. None of that is reaching the ground. The air is still very dry at the surface. Dew points, I believe, let me look here off to the side, are in the mid-teens, so we're still relatively dry. As that moisture falls through the dry air, it gets soaked up and evaporates. And what happens is you get some evaporative cooling. Similar, if you look at the back of your hand, you'll start to feel it cool off, and that's because it's evaporating, and that's where you get that cooling. So the temperatures we've got right now will drop a couple of degrees once that evaporative cooling takes place. Where it has taken place now is over portions of southeast Missouri, down towards Poplar Bluff, Van Buren, Elsinore, Dexter, down towards Sikeston, down towards Caruthersville, New Madrid, all seeing temperatures now just below freezing. And what doesn't get picked up by the radar is there is some mist out there, or some drizzle. Not enough to make the roads wet, however, enough to freeze and cause or create just a little slick layer of ice. Our photographer Brian Heiser, who's driving down I-55 towards Caruthersville a little earlier today, reported that on his windshield and on his rear view mirrors, he could see just a tiny bit of buildup taking place, and I've gotten some reports of some mist across the area, so be very careful. If you go outside, it might be a little slick, and you might think there's no ice out there, and you might take a step, and you might do a little sliding, in worst case, falling. I want to show you temperatures. These are between 12 and 1 o'clock. Some 1 o'clock numbers might start to come in. But notice it's only 29 in Bloomfield. Our weather watcher, Tina Fields in Dexter, reported 28 degrees, 29 in Sikeston. And so temperatures are flirting with that freezing mark, and that's where we're going to be throughout the day, right a degree or two plus or minus of the freezing mark. Here's precision cast in as we go in through the afternoon and evening. The bulk of the moisture is going to take its time moving north. I think it's probably between 4 and 6 o'clock we start to see the moisture lifting north, and the bulk, or the heaviest of it, will probably occur later on this evening. You'll see here we go by 7 o'clock, still some scattered moisture around the area, and for most of us I think this would be falling as freezing rain. Then by 9 o'clock you'll see the models are trying to bring up warmer air at the surface, right through here. That's why we're seeing it showing as rain. If you've been following my blog, last night I wrote a long posting about my concerns with that. The models might be showing it like they are here, but that's aloft, up a few hundred thousand, or a few hundred or a few thousand feet. I'm concerned what's going to happen at the surface. I think temperatures could, I stress could be at freezing or maybe a degree below that from Murray to Poplar Bluff and Kennett. That would mean this would fall as rain, but would freeze once it gets on the ground, similar to what happened 2 years ago. I want to say it, we're not expecting what we had 2 years ago, but we could see some of that turn to ice. Now, if temperatures stay above freezing, it's a moot point, and it's not an issue. Here we are by midnight. Again, the model's trying to push this the warmer air at the surface further north and turning it to all rain, but still freezing rain over southern Illinois and southeast Missouri. The thing to note is that the models seem to be pushing the freezing rain portions further to the north than what they have the last couple of days, and I would believe these models now more than I did 2 days ago, just because the storm is developing and is over land. And then by 4 o'clock in the morning, still moisture around, but as I said, temperatures are very critical at 4 a.m., so if we're at freezing, plus or minus even a couple tenths of a degree, it's the difference between rain and just water and rain that turns to ice once it gets to the ground. Here we are at 7 o'clock Thursday morning, and then it begins to push out. Now, the moisture we're talking about is down here to the south. You can actually start to see the clouds turning up a little bit down across the Gulf of Mexico. Winds are going to begin to pick up out of the south-southwest at about 2,000 to 5,000 feet above the ground. And that's going to help transport that moisture up, because notice down towards southwestern Arkansas and southeast Oklahoma, there's no moisture there. We're still waiting for the moisture to get here and for the area of low pressure to really start to churn and get its act together. Here is our ice accumulation product. This is starting at 5 o'clock Thursday. It's already got some moisture down. We'll run it through the afternoon. Actually, these are total numbers. I don't know why it's showing what it is there. But you can see what we're talking about. Anywhere from this model showing from nothing to as much as 1/1300ths of an inch of ice across portions of southern Illinois. Here we go with precision cast, how much moisture will fall. I wanted to show you these because, again, I'm not sure if the models are handling this cold air at the surface well. Here we are through 6 o'clock Thursday morning. Now, if this were to fall all as freezing rain, we'd be talking anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to maybe even 4/10 of an inch of ice around Paducah. Some of that will have a little changeover at times because temperatures might bounce up 1/2 degree or so above freezing. So not all that would come down as freezing rain. And then you'll see as we go through Thursday, I think by Thursday, if there's anything by mid to late morning, that would be all rain, as temperatures will start to increase just a little bit. Here we are with the NAM model, which is the wettest of all the models yesterday. And let's see how it does with this morning's run. And you'll see it puts the liquid down anywhere from 2/10 to as much as almost 1/2 inch of liquid for Mount Vernon. Now the thing we saw with the models is that it was trying to keep the freezing rain north of a line roughly here, or just slightly north of that even, something like this. So this would be all freezing rain. Again, the NAM has been the wettest model of all of them. Here is the this morning's GFS run, and you'll get an idea of what it's putting down for liquid for the area by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And in GFS, I'm kind of buying more towards these numbers than anything else. My general thought is, for instance, Cape Girardeau, 7/100 to maybe 1/10 of an inch of ice, or freezing rain. Places towards Farmington might be a little less than that. Down towards Paducah, a little bit more. I think maybe 2/10, 1/4 of an inch, not out of the question. And now, since things are shifting north a little bit, maybe this area in southern Illinois, and I've been targeting southeastern Illinois as having one of the higher areas, but I think maybe this begins to expand a little further to the north in southern Illinois now, as far as seeing a little bit higher numbers, maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain. And one of the big questions is going to be down here to our south. How much, or where are those temperatures? And unfortunately, I can't tell you how much freezing rain could be down there. Indications are maybe 1/10 of an inch, but I've kind of got a hunch this could be higher. I wish I could tell you the exact temperature or how it's going to play out at 1/2 degree. We're splitting hairs at that point, and that's something I'm not able to do and something the models aren't able to do, unfortunately. That's why there's a winter weather advisory out for the entire viewing area. Something else to consider would be for today and tonight and tomorrow morning. Winds are going to stay out of the east-southeast, so we're not tapping into warm air from our south. We're tapping into cooler air coming up from the southeast. So we're going to stay cool there, so we're not going to get any help with the wind either, trying to mix that warmer air down, which is just sitting about 1,000, well, I should say about 1,500 to 2,000 feet above the ground. If you get up to 2,000 feet by this evening, temperatures will be up near 40 degrees, so well above the freezing mark. That's why we're going to see this stuff coming down as liquid and then freezing at some point. That is the latest from here, the Storm Team Center. I'm going on and on. It's 8 minutes long now, so that's the latest from here. Be very careful this afternoon and this evening. Again, I think the bulk of the moisture comes in later tonight and through the overnight hours. I think by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, most of the moisture is out of here. Could be a little lagging back behind, but most of it is out of here. And so we'll be dealing, it'll be a little slick this evening. It'll be slick tomorrow morning. Roads that are treated, it should be able to handle this ice pretty well, because we're talking a very small amount. We're not talking the 2.5 inches of ice we saw 2 years ago. We're talking 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch. So we're talking magnitude-wise probably 10 to 15 times less strong or less of an ordeal as what the storm was a couple of years ago. So that is the latest from here. Again, keep your comments coming. I like it when you guys put comments on the blog. It makes it more interactive with myself and you. I hope you have a great evening, and stay warm also.